All right. Here to talk about, I guess, like the whole weekend, mainly SummerSlam. Uh, just, I don't know, just feel like talking about it because it was a pretty eventful show, in my opinion. Um, I don't know what the overall consensus is about SummerSlam, but like, thought it was a pretty good show for the most part. Definitely went like 4 hours. Yeah, what's up, Kyle? What's going on? Yeah, we definitely went over 4 hours. But to be honest, for me, it didn't really feel like it was like a 4 hour show. There were definitely parts as I'm looking at the card towards the middle where it wasn't as good, but I don't know. And some parts in the beginning weren't as good either, but I felt like there were some good moments throughout the show. And oh, the last like hour and a half or so, I thought was the most captivating part of the show for sure. So, but yeah, nice of you to join us, Kyle. Yo, Xander, what's going on? Good to see you. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about it. But I also wanted to mention, before I started this whole thing, I wanted to say, whether you like WWE, whether you like AEW, hell, even ROH, they had some shows this weekend. I don't know what happened, honestly, because like, um, I wasn't following what happened during the ROH show, so like I have no idea if it was good, bad. I don't know, but either way, I feel like every promotion that had a show this weekend probably gave you something to remember, something to be like, yeah, this is why I watch pro wrestling. I mean, I hope ROH did, but I know AEW gave something that people wanted. I know WWE gave something people wanted. Yeah, there's always going to be people who are going to complain and stuff like that, but I feel like for the most part, people should be satisfied with wrestling this weekend so far. We still have NXT tomorrow, so hey, we'll see what they do there. NXT usually doesn't disappoint. So yeah, we'll see where they go from there. The last half hour, so I think is the most counting part of the show. You think? Wow, what a quote there, Kyle. What a quote. So yeah, let's get this going. I didn't watch the pre-show. I kind of make it a habit to not watch the pre-show because, especially if a show is gonna be like 4 hours long, or more, what's the point of me watching the pre-show? Now from there, of course, I kind of have to watch the pre-show, so I'll watch it if I'm there, but I'm not. So like, I didn't even watch Biggie and Corbin. I tuned in like the last 10 minutes of the pre-show just to kind of have it on to get ready for the pay-per-view, and that was it. I The pre-show is like the biggest waste of time, so I don't bother with that. So yeah, I'll just, I guess I'll go through each match. Some matches I won't even talk about much. Do I think Shawn Michaels will have another match? Well, you know what? I guess you can't rule it out. Maybe one day he'll wrestle again. But if he does, it needs to be against like somebody. I don't know. Rollins would be cool. I never think Shawn Michaels would face Rollins. That'd be interesting to see one day. Now that we've seen Edge and Rollins and how they tore it up, but honestly, I'd kind of just prefer Shawn Michaels to be retired and not wrestle anymore. But it's totally up to him, I guess, right? You know, I don't make the decisions for him. Rollins is anyone's gold. Yeah, pretty much. It turns out. So, so yeah. Let's get into this. Some matches I won't have much to say, and other matches I'll elaborate on a little bit. So we had AJ Styles and Omos, slowly growing on me. I think Omos is getting better by the day. He's not like a in-ring technician. He's not gonna run circles around me in the ring, but I see the improvement little by little in him. And you know, for now, I'm a fan. But if they turn him into another Braun Strowman, you know, I will be out and I will hate the guy forever. Okay? I liked Braun Strowman a tad bit in the beginning, but then once they started making him all goofy and shit, and nope. that's when I jumped ship, and I hated Braun ever since. And Braun's gone now, so I'm glad. Obviously, don't turn Omos into that. Hopefully they don't. Um, but yeah, Styles and Omos faced RK Bro, and RK Bro definitely over. Um, were there any lagging issues while I watched it? I know in the past, no issues whatsoever. I was very happy. Peacock didn't have any issues for me today, so I'm glad. Like, not a lag at all. It did really good today, thankfully. I mean, it would have been really shitty if Peacock was not good today, but it was good, so no complaints here. So yeah, this was not a very long tag match whatsoever, but it was a decent enough tag match, and the right team, in my opinion, ended up winning the match. RK Bro won the tag team championships, and I can't complain about that one. The match, it's not going to be anything to write home about, but it's not going to make any match of the year contenders list or anything like that. But the right team went over, I think, and that was that. It was a solid opening match. The crowd was into it. Yeah, I was cool with it. You know, we'll see where they go from here. The Raw tag division has been really, really bad lately. But RK Bro being a team has definitely made it a tad more interesting. But the thing is now, like, who does RK Bro have to face? They need a good tag team to face, and they don't have one. So we'll see if they can keep the tag scene on Raw interesting. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. Only time will tell. But for now, RK Bro is cool with me, but I don't know how the reign's gonna go. So next up we had Alexa Bliss take on Eva Marie. Pretty quick match. Nothing really to say here. Eva Marie slapped Lily after the match. Doudrop kind of pokes at Eva Marie. Is like the loser of the match, Eva Marie, and she gets Eva Marie's robe. Walks away. Nothing really to say here. It's a match. Yeah. I the Alexa Bliss character, I don't mind her being a bit like spooky and all that, but the doll thing, I think it kind of needs to end. I don't know, the hocus pocus stuff, it can be good, but this doll stuff I don't particularly like. But if they make her have hocus pocus stuff in other ways without a doll, I don't know. There's ways I think to make it work and suspend your disbelief, but this, I don't know. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. Only New Day, Viking Raiders come to mind. Yeah, exactly, Xander. Those are like the only teams that RK Bro could face. I'm sure they'll give New Day a shot because New Day are always kind of in the picture. Eventually, they give them a small break and then they put them right back into it. And they'll win the belts again. Who knows? Viking Raiders. Yeah, I'm sure they'll get an opportunity. But yeah, I can't think of any other teams on Raw that would get an opportunity. So then, hang on one sec. Let me. I need to get a sip of water here. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. All right, what's up? You hear me? I don't know. I saw something on there. So, all right, everything should be good, right? Okay, if something's wrong, let me know. But Damian Priest then faced Sheamus, and Damian Priest won. Match took a little bit, I think, to get interesting, but I think towards the end, like last couple minutes or so, pretty darn good in my opinion. And then Priest wins, hitting his finisher. So yeah, Priest won the title like I kind of expected. Cool for him. Sheamus's run, not the greatest. I mean, I mean, I guess compared to like Apollo's Intercontinental Championship reign, it was about the same more or less. But I feel like Sheamus's character, it was pretty. It was definitely mid cardish. I thought he did a decent job. Just he didn't really have anybody to feud with because the Raw mid card scene wasn't exactly filled with all these guys that he could face. Like he faced Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo. Did he face somebody else? I can't remember. Like those are the main crop of guys he faced. Guys who, they're definitely mid carders, but like I don't know. And like Damian Priest was by far like the toughest opponent he had. You know, so it was what it was. But yeah, Priest winning definitely good, and sooner rather than later, I could see Priest being in the main event picture. I mean, maybe as soon as next year he gets an opportunity in the main event scene. Who knows? If not next year, for sure the year after. I mean, the guy's not getting any younger. How old is Damian Priest? I know he's getting up there in age. He's 38. Yeah, like if they're gonna push the guy, it's gotta happen by next year, right? Like where he gets into the main event picture. I would think. So yeah, I would say definitely by next year. If they're really slow at it, I guess 2023. But I would say by next year he's gonna get a push. It seems like they're pretty much behind the guy. They're just pushing him up a little bit slower. So then we had the Usos defend the SmackDown tag team titles against Mysterio and Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Sorry. I kind of thought Dominic was gonna turn in some way on Mysterio, whether he was gonna like walk out on him or attack him or whatever. I guess they're gonna save that for coming up because they've been really teasing it, and I think Ray definitely wants to put over his son, and Dominic, he's doing good with his dad and everything right now, but like eventually at some point we got to see Dominic grow as a character and to turn heel and have a run. It would definitely show major growth for him. Is it? I don't know if it's necessarily too soon to do the feud. I mean, yeah, like SummerSlam last year was his first match, and SummerSlam now, it's been a year. Um, Maybe he could grow a bit more. I mean, he just had like his first match in front of fans like a month ago, about a month or so ago, which is crazy. Because he was wrestling in the pandemic era. So, yeah, like I don't know. I definitely do want to see Mysterios go at it against each other, see what happens there. That father and son match, they're gonna do it at some point. It's just a matter of when. And I thought tonight might be the start of it, but I think they're definitely gonna do it soon. They keep teasing like things aren't working out. Maybe Dominic just wants to break away from his dad and stop being in his shadows. You know what I mean? Um, Yo, what is up, Pico? Coming in late. Any must watch matches tonight? You heard Edge Rollins. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Edge Rollins. Yeah, I think that's match of the night for me, Pico. I think that's the match of the night for me. Cena and Reigns, I think that was probably the second best match, thinking back. I think that match definitely, I don't know if it over delivered to me, but I really enjoyed it. Like, way more than the No Mercy match. That match to me was too manufactured for my taste. Yeah, it had all the bells and whistles, but the story wasn't necessarily there for me back then. This time, I feel like the story was definitely there, the drama was definitely there. And while, we all pretty much knew Reigns was going to win that match, it's still, like, there were a couple of times where it was like, they got me. So, yeah, those were definitely two, like, barn burners. Even the Raw Women's Championship match, Pico, I would say it was a good match. It's not going to, like, be a match of the year contender, but I feel like they worked a pretty solid match there, in my opinion. And, yeah, I mean, the Usos and the Mysterios was a pretty decent tag match. Um, yeah, but yeah, if there's like only a couple matches that you're gonna watch, definitely Rollins Edge and Reigns Cena for sure. So, but yeah, Usos against Mysterio and Mysterio. Yeah, the Mysterios. Um, yeah, good tag match. Usos retain. They didn't do anything here, but I think definitely soon they will do something with Mysterio, Ray, and Dominic. They'll have a match. It's gonna happen sooner rather than later, I think. Like, so we'll see how that match goes. Cena Reigns was already my plan to watch, so that's good. Okay, yeah, those are yeah. I think you'll definitely like those, Pico, for sure. I think you're a Rollins fan, right? Yeah, I know you like Punk, but I'm pretty sure you like Rollins too, right? Um, who could the Usos face next? Only team, Street Profits, Dirty Dogs. I don't think they would turn the Dirty Dogs face. Honestly, I think it'll probably be the Street Profits. I could see them next if I had to pick. I would say yeah. I would say Street Profits if I had to guess. Just because I can't think of any other team unless they come up with another team. Uh, yeah, Ronzum is my guy. I just haven't paid much attention to what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, now that you mention that, I mean, Rollins has been doing so good lately, Pico. Um, SmackDown to me has been like a pretty interesting show, easy to watch every week. And Rollins lately, I know there was a period where Rollins was feuding with Mysterio, and it kind of dragged at times, and it wasn't everybody's cup of tea. But since then, Rollins, man, I feel like he's really hit his stride. His feud with Cesaro had some bright spots, even though it kind of extended a little long. But yeah, once you could see that like the light at the end of the tunnel and the feud with Edge was gonna start and how they set that up and all these promos and everything, like Rollins has been doing really good lately. So, um, yeah, I mean I'm sure you've heard little things, but yeah, Rollins has been doing really good lately. He's rebounded for sure. All right, so yeah, then next up we were advertised Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. And this is the point in the show, I feel, where like everybody on Twitter and everywhere like was like this was the turning point of the show in a lot of ways cuz this divided a lot of people cuz a lot of people were just like holy fuck. Like they were just like going crazy over this over the result of everything here. So they started out, they show the video package, everything here, and Bianca comes out, and then all of a sudden, the announcer is what's his name? I can't remember the name right now. He's like, oh yeah, Sasha Banks is unable to compete tonight, so to replace her is Carmella, and it's like what, Carmella? I mean, Carmella's fine and all, but like Carmella. And so I was kind of thinking, like, they're setting this up like so that like everybody's disappointed. What Becky's gonna come out, right? And then Becky comes out, big pop, and then they have a match, and about 30 seconds, Bianca Belair loses, and that's it. And everybody's just like, oh, I don't know. So that match right there, let's backtrack it a bit. What was weird was the whole time they kept us believing that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks was gonna happen. Um, they kept showing big packages and everything, like, and if you're gonna keep doing that, um, why not do some kind of angle and say like, oh, Sasha Banks was attacked or whatever. Like you could have easily done that, and then have it be revealed that Becky attacked Sasha, and some people might think it's out of character, but Becky, Becky can be kind of a tweener at times. Like she's a face for sure, but like you could have easily set that up and you know, Becky, wanted to push Sasha out of the way. You go back to that feud later on and have a feud with Becky and Sasha again, later in the year. but set it up kind of now. Um, I don't think that would have been the worst idea in the world to kind of explain better why Becky is there. Like, you can tell this was like a backup plan that they came up with, and it, in a way it worked because it got the desired reaction. Carmella comes out, oh man, what disappointment! Oh, here comes Becky, what a pop! So it brought the fans to a low point just to bring them back up. So in a way, it worked, but they could have come up with a better reasoning, you know. But okay, they go ahead and do the match, and it goes 30 seconds. Um, would it have been better if they would have had this elaborate match and everything, and then Becky wins? I mean, I don't know. I think still people still probably would have been mad, probably, because that's just how a lot of fans are. And I'll bring this up kind of again later in the show, where I feel like people got the desired thing that they wanted, and yet they were still not that happy. And I think you may have an idea what match I'm talking about, just based off what I saw at least. So, yeah. So when Becky beat Bianca, I was literally just kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this. But when I think about it, wrestling, it brings out a lot of emotions out of people. I'll reply to some of these comments in a sec. Just want to finish this thought here. So when things like this happen in wrestling, a lot of people, it's gonna evoke a extremely positive reaction or extremely negative reaction in a lot of ways. And I feel, I try not to overly react in the moment, and sometimes it definitely happens. I used to be like a victim of this all the time, where if a moment like this happened, I'd be like, "What the? Oh my god!" And I'd be ranting and da da da. Like back in the day when CM Punk lost to Rey Mysterio and Punk had to freaking cut his hair, I was livid. Like, there'd be moments where I was just livid. And some of them are definitely granted. Like Wyatt and Orton at Mania. Obviously what they did led to nothing, so yeah, looking back, that was an entire waste of time. What they do after this, do they turn Bianca heel? What do they do? Like, if Bianca goes heel after this and she wins the belt back, they go back and forth, like, and she's still up there in the women's division, like, did it really hurt Bianca? Not really, you know what I mean? So, like, it's all about the follow-up. And I don't know, I guess people don't trust WWE to follow things up well, and yeah, they do screw things up sometimes. Wyatt and Orton. Another thing, freaking like Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Dude, when Cameron Grimes lost the $1 million championship match, the first match they had, I was like, yo, this is stupid. Like, why do they do this? This is another example. I remember I was pissed, and I tweeted about it. I was like, how do they screw this up? And then afterwards, they followed up. I should have known, not to necessarily overact in the moment. But, LA Knight, a guy who wasn't really all that good before he won the $1 million championship, and then he gets this angle and story with Cameron Grimes, and he's found his thing in NXT. And I guess Cameron Grimes probably wins the $1 million title tomorrow, but point being, Cameron Grimes is still fine, So he was fine after that, and I'm assuming he wins the belt too, but either way, things didn't end up being the end for Cameron Grimes or anything, so it's just just it can go good or it can go bad. Obviously it's natural to react in a certain way in the moment, but it's up to you to do you want to see it play out? Do you not want to see it play out? Do you want to just like complain all the time? I don't know, like, it's up to you at the end of the day, but I try to choose not to react, so I don't know, in such a way that's super positive or super negative. I guess it's cool to show positivity, but I try to not I try not to be overly positive and also get let down if things don't go so well afterwards too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna end that thought there. So they literally waited until right before the match to say Sasha was out. Yeah, they did. So it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I could see being upset. I mean, why would they go through all these lengths and didn't announce it ahead of time? They probably, honestly, they probably should have announced beforehand. Like, they could have done this like on the pre-show or something or whatever. Like, oh, we just found out Sasha was attacked. Whatever. They could have done something like that ahead of time and said, oh, we just found out Sasha was attacked. And then you get to the match, and then then Becky comes out to reveal Becky was attacked her. Like, they could have came up with something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The way they did it, yeah, they got the fans disappointed. They brought out Mella and then they brought out Becky. So in that way, it was fine, but like they could have done for sure. Both were pulled from other events for reasons prior to SummerSlam. Do you think they might have contracted COVID? I don't know. Some people are now saying that like Bianca or not Bianca, freaking Sasha is pregnant maybe. A lot of people just speculate. Like honestly, it's like it reminds me of the Keith Lee situation. How like people were like, "Oh, he was gone for so long." Da 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 da. And why? Are they burying him? What's going on? Is he gonna leave? Is he getting fired? Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Um, and then when Keith Lee finally revealed why he was out for so long, people then kind of like, oh, okay. It was kind of, some people were like, oh, that's kind of silly that I reacted that way when he was gone. Like, maybe I should have just not said much about it. So at the end of the day, like, you really don't know what people are doing when they're gone. Like, Orton was gone for a long period. Sometimes wrestlers just take breaks. Sometimes things come up in their life. It's not all things are treated the same. So when people want to speculate why a wrestler's gone or whatever, I mean, you can speculate, but like try to like not assume that this is definitely why they're gone and just kind of wait and see. Like people are really just assuming things right now, and in time we'll find out for sure what, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I guess like if it's super personal and she needed to take time off, like, and so yeah. um One of my favorite videos was a reaction. Yeah. Yeah, geez, that video was like 11 years ago. I was so mad that freaking Punk lost. I ripped up the poster that I got in a WWE magazine of Rey Mysterio and I stomped on it. I was so pissed. I was not happy with that one, yo. Because I was a big CM Punk fan back then. So, man, Straight Edge Society Punk, he was like one of my favorites for sure. I was into that character. Absolutely. Um, could easily post it on Twitter or something. I'm gonna P tune in to find out. Yeah, exactly, Pico. They easily could have done that, but they didn't. I don't know why, but anyways, yeah, like we'll see where they go from here with Bianca. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be in this camp where like, oh, she's buried. Oh, it was a super booking decision. I mean, look, if Bianca turns heel, da 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 da, they follow up on it good, then does this really matter? Not really. But if she's, you know, gone straight into oblivion after this and never to be seen again, or she's jobbing out, like, yeah, okay, yeah, this did suck. But in the moment, I mean, I can't, I don't want to be the guy to like overreact. So I'm just gonna wait, see how it is. Hopefully they do it right, and if they don't, they don't. That is what it is. Um, you know, but I'll move on. I'll move on. So let's go ahead. Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal. Honestly, I wasn't paying too much attention to the match. The match wasn't super long. Drew wins. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the worst match in the world, but I wasn't super focused on the match that much, to be honest. So I can't really talk about it. We then had the triple threat championship matchup, and I didn't really necessarily know what to expect here, but I guess it exceeded my expectations a bit. Nikki Ash against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. It did kind of go how I thought it would go. I was pretty certain it was definitely either Charlotte winning or Nikki was going to retain somehow in some way. I didn't think Rhea was going to win. Um, but at the end of the day, I did predict Charlotte Flair to walk away the champ again, and she did. I feel like she had a good performance. She always usually steps up in the big match. She always pulls out that moonsault. She pulls out the big moves in the big moments and all that. So her and Rhea continue to have pretty good chemistry in the ring with each other. Um, yeah, overall, just a pretty good three-way match. Rhea doesn't get pinned. Nikki ends up tapping out, and we'll see where they go from here. Do they go ahead and do Rhea Ripley and Charlotte and maybe throw Nikki in there again? I don't know. Like in some kind of stipulation, like Extreme Rules, some kind of match. I don't know. Or ladder match. I don't know. Because Extreme Rules the next pay-per-view. I'm guessing they probably do something like that. Because Raw doesn't really have any other contenders lined up. Like Nia Jax against Charlotte. I don't think they're going to do that. Shayna Baszler, Alexa Bliss. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's always a possibility. Like Alexa Bliss got to get in the title scene again one day. But I don't know. Does she face Charlotte? Maybe. I don't know. Eva Marie or Dewdrop? No. So yeah, I don't know. I could see them continuing this three-way feud another month, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they do go to Alexa Bliss. I don't know. Um, but yeah, then we get to Edge and Seth Rollins. Yeah, I would probably still say this is match of the night. Edge, yo, his entrance was fire. Literally, it was fire. He starts it off with like a brood entrance. I gotta rewatch this. Along with a couple other things tomorrow at some point. But yeah, that entrance was dope. Where he comes out with the Broods theme, comes up through the flames, and then it goes and reverts to on this day. But he had the shades on and everything, looking all menacing. It was a dope entrance. Rollins didn't have a particularly like extravagant entrance, but his jacket was cool, I guess. Um, but yeah, overall, like, man, yo, Edge really pulled out all the stops here. He really wanted to deliver something here, and I truly felt that he delivered. He hit it out of the park without of a doubt tonight. Um, and I mean, you could just like the moves he was doing, man. He did a spear like a la WrestleMania 22 esque when he dove through speared Rollins on the outside through the ropes onto the mat. Just a classic spot there. He pulled out the execution or the educator, as Michael Cole says. Um, other submissions, crossface and yada yada yada. Um, Rollins, I think, pulled out a Phoenix Splash, or he tried to. Um, they just a lot of athleticism and a good story overall building in the match. Edge makes Rollins tap out. I thought Rollins was gonna win the match. He didn't win it, but the match was still excellent in my opinion. Yeah, I would say match of the night. Definitely one of my favorite matches of the year. Probably makes my top 10. I don't know what my top 10 is. I don't necessarily keep track of that like on a notepad or anything. But, this is up there with like Bianca Sasha, the three-way from WrestleMania with Reigns, Bryan and Edge. The Rumble. I want to say the Women's Rumble was pretty good. There's some other matches on there for sure. Maybe something from Takeover. Uh, yeah, maybe something from Takeover. I don't know. Like, it's definitely my top 10 for sure. So yeah, then we had Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. What an epic entrance from Lashley. Goldberg's entrance was missing that pyro. It wasn't a pyro at all. Not any pyro at all for tonight. They did have smoke being blown and shit. Whatever. Some of the entrances could have definitely used some pyro, but it is what it is. It's only like kind of a nitpick. We didn't have pyro for so long, so in ways we're a bit spoiled. But yeah, pyro definitely makes things better for sure. But yeah, the match it says here went like 7 minutes. Maybe a tad long, maybe like a minute or two too long. But the way the match went, it wasn't necessarily like Goldberg and Lesnar from WrestleMania 33. Yeah, 33. But it was still, I don't know, like Goldberg pulled out some different moves that he hasn't done lately. And I don't know, some people thought it didn't look as good, but I don't know. I thought it looked fine. There was definitely one like move that he did where he almost destroyed Lashley, and Lashley kind of landed on his shoulder a little bit awkwardly. Could have turned south, but stuff like that happens sometimes in wrestling. You can't avoid it. But the match overall, Lashley turned it around, started working on Goldberg's legs, and then Goldberg is none able to continue. So via referee stoppage, Lashley wins. And then afterwards, he kicks Goldberg's ass a little bit more with a chair. And then Gage, Goldberg's son, tries to come up from behind, and Lashley puts him in the hurt lock and knocks him out. And that's it. Lashley dominates pretty much. And then yet, I saw a lot of people on Twitter being like, "Oh, that was dumb. Referee stop it." Da, da, da. I mean, yeah, Goldberg wasn't pinned or whatever, but Lashley made Goldberg unable to continue. Unable to continue. That's still, that doesn't happen that much in wrestling, but when it happens, like, okay, to me that's still pretty significant. Like to end the match via referee stoppage. I'd say that's a pretty legitimate victory. To beat somebody to the point where they can't even continue. To me, no complaints with that whatsoever. And Lashley stood strong. Like, yeah, maybe they end up having a rematch at Crown Jewel. They showed this big epic video package. They're going back to Saudi Arabia. I don't necessarily have a problem with the shows in Saudi Arabia per se. A lot of people will say what they will about that. The Saudi shows, they're usually nothing that great. And they usually make some matches on there that they're like, oh, they're so epic. And they're not really that epic. But at the end of the day, the shows are pretty harmless. And, I don't know. It's a show. Some of them I've liked to an extent. And some of them I've been like, whatever. They're hit and miss. They are what they are. I don't know. Mansoor, I'm sure he'll get a match on there, win. It is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll have a match. Will Goldberg win the match? People are always fearing that. Oh man, Goldberg's got to get that win back. He's got to win the title. Maybe he does. Honestly, I don't even know who Lashley is going to drop that belt to. So I mean, maybe Goldberg, right? But if he loses it to Goldberg and there's no cash in or anything, like, you're gonna have another part-time champion. Like, I could see them giving Brock a part-time championship deal, but do you think they're gonna do that with Goldberg? I don't know. I guess time will tell. I am not a booker. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. So whatever they do, they do. I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, I'm just gonna watch, see what happens. You know, um, if Lashley's reign continues, great. If it doesn't, he had a good reign, dude. Dude, I didn't even think he was gonna hold the belt past like a month or so. I didn't even think he was gonna get past WrestleMania. And then I was like, okay, maybe he drops it shortly after WrestleMania. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that he's gotten like 4 5 month reign out of this, like, wow. Like, the guy's come a long way. Whenever it ends, it ends. You know, I'm not gonna just like flip a lid. Like, it is what it is at the end of the day. Whoever he loses it to. But the fact that he's got this far, I'm just grateful for that. So, you know, it is what it is. But I saw a lot of people complaining about it. And I'm just like, I don't know. Fans just like to complain. So it is what it is. You definitely see a lot more complaining over people being positive, for sure, in most cases. Um, but okay, so Xander, you said at this point in Lashley's reign, do you think he will create a new record reign and break the 434? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I guess the Universal title has had like different, you know, reigns and reigns that are longer because Brock Lesnar held the belt for a very long time, like 500 days. Roman's held the belt for over a year now, or almost a year. Um, so I mean, but obviously those are different belts. But yeah, Punk had the WWE Championship for 434. Lashley, yeah, I don't know if I see him breaking that. That's a long time to hold it, but I guess anything's possible, right? Isn't Goldberg done wrestling for the year? He's only supposed to be. Yeah, that's what I heard. He only does 2 matches a year. But I guess they could give him a third match. That's the thing, though. Or they could give him more matches. But like, that's the thing. Like, so if he's only gonna wrestle maybe one more match, oh, he wins the belt and then it's never to be seen the rest of the year. Are they gonna do that? Like, really? That would not be great. Especially since a Raw, the United States Championship scene is that's not gonna hold over the show if there's no champ. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, even if oh man, we're gonna give Goldberg 2 extra matches in the year, like nah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know. I could see Goldberg having another match and then losing again. Um, people think he would win. Maybe, I don't know. You can't rule it out, but I feel like they're pretty much behind Lashley, especially since he's got this far. You know what I mean? Like at this point, the only guy I could really see beating Lashley for the belt is like Big E off of Cash In if Big E goes to Raw soon. You know, so. But yeah, let's get right into that main event. Roman Reigns and John Cena. Cena coming out in that Super Mario Brothers shirt. Um, Not a bad shirt. You know, I actually thought about buying a John Cena shirt for once. You know, wasn't the worst shirt. A lot of John Cena shirts are pretty much the same. You know, they're this like colorful fruity pebbles. You know, whatever. Shirts designs usually aren't that interesting to me. But I don't know. That shirt wasn't that bad. Um, but yeah, a big match feel. Um, you know, the match definitely had all the bells and whistles. You had the table spot. You had the finishers galore. I don't know if they necessarily overdid the finishers. Cena, I want to say, yeah, they definitely attempted their finishers a lot, and they got countered and stuff, which is nice. And they did hit their finishers a couple times. I want to say Cena hit the attitude adjustment at least twice, one being off the top rope. Reigns hit 1 or 2 spears, I want to say. I don't think he hit more than that. He hit a Superman punch, I know that. But, like, you know, they could have definitely done more finishers. Cena, I know a lot of times he was going for the pin a lot. He was doing roll ups throughout the match, so that's always important to want to show that you want to win the match. Um, but yeah, I feel like the story was definitely there. Reigns definitely dominating a lot of the match early on. Cena coming from behind. Cena wanting to win that 17th championship. Match had some good near falls. There were a couple moments where I was like, yeah, you got a sack, especially that attitude just off top rope. Uh, that move, for some reason, a lot of times it always gets me because I've seen it over and over in the past, where he wins in that fashion, where he hulks up and he does that to adjustment off top rope. But it didn't end the match. And then Reigns, no interference whatsoever from the Usos throughout the whole match, which was quite surprising when you think about it. Um, Reigns ends up winning just straight up with a spear. 1, 2, 3. Pins John Cena. Like, think about that. Pins him clean. Didn't have to pin him clean. He's a heel. At the end of the day, he's a heel. And whether you like it or not, heels, a lot of times, they're pretty much going to cheat. They're going to use some kind of tactic. That's what heels do. You know, from time to time, yeah, it's nice for them to pick up a victory clean, but they're a heel. So, they're going to heel it up. They're going to win cheating a lot of times. That's perfectly fine. So here and there, yeah, sure, it's cool that they get a clean victory, but it's not something that I expect. But it was a nice surprise that he won clean, 1, 2, 3. I wasn't expecting Cena to tap, so I was like, yeah, Cena's gonna get pinned. He's not gonna tap, because Cena never taps like that. He never gives up. You know. And then Reigns, he wins. Nice match, not too long. It went like a little over 20 minutes. And then after, oh my god, wasn't expecting that whatsoever. I was like, all right, show's over. That's it. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes back. Nobody, not Dave Meltzer, nobody reported that he was coming back tonight. People, they might have said like, oh, they're looking to get him back, like, but there wasn't like this big hype this weekend, like, oh, Brock's definitely coming back. He's coming back this weekend. You didn't hear about that whatsoever. So like a la AEW, they never announced Punk was coming back, but they pretty much winked and nod and everything. Like, yeah, Punk's gonna be there. They're just not saying it right out, but they are saying it. Just in their own way. Um, and then WWE, on the other hand, chooses to be like, well, we're just not gonna say anything. We're not gonna even hint at it. And Lesnar shows up. Like, honestly, I figured Brock was gonna come back, but I was thinking like, maybe like towards the end of the year somehow he comes back or something, and they have a match at Rumble or something. I don't know. Maybe Mania if The Rock doesn't work out. Um, and who knows when they end up having this match? But they're teasing it now. So yeah, Lesnar comes out, huge pop. Was it bigger than Becky? I don't know. I don't know, man. It was up there with Becky's pop for sure. Huge pop. Brock Lesnar has a beard. He's got like this goatee, or no, not even a goatee. He's got the beard and this like freaking ponytail. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. He's got this ponytail. Probably needs to chop it off, but it's a look. He looked even more jacked than he did last time. Looked like he's been just working out, bulking up. Like, he looked like really just like huge. Goes out there, confronts Reigns. Reigns backs off, holding up the title. So, I mean, do they just blow their load and do a match at Extreme Rules? I don't know. I could see them doing it at Crown Jewel. Or maybe they... I don't think they're going to do it at Survivor Series. I think it would be Extreme Rules or Crown Jewel, right? Like, do they just, like, wait and hype it up and just do it at Rumble? Would they wait that long? It'd be interesting if they waited that long. But I don't see it. But, I mean, just imagine, though. Like, people, I think they're going to expect Brock on SmackDown now. And Becky's obviously gonna be on SmackDown. Like, geez, what do you think? Like, I know ratings are ratings, but it can be interesting to look at. But just at the end of the day, we're fans. Ratings shouldn't be the end all be all. I see people arguing over numbers all the time. Like, ratings are ratings. They can be fascinating to look at, or whatever. If you see trends and stuff, I'm curious, like, what kind of ratings SmackDown does. Like, do they get close to 3 million? Do they get 2.5? 2.5 would be pretty good for them, right? I don't know. Like, I feel like they're gonna do a pretty good number this upcoming week, especially since Becky's definitely gonna be there. And if they get Brock there, I think the hype right now is it's getting pretty hot for them right now. So SmackDown's loading up. They're definitely the A show right now, and they've been the A show for a while. It's quite clear, just with who they put on that show and everything. Cena's and Reigns, and now you got Becky back on that show, and Brock, I guess, will be on the show too, maybe. So, like, yeah, pretty big deal there. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of rating they do, and we'll see when they end up doing Reigns against Lesnar. I don't know. When do you guys think they're gonna do it? Are they gonna do it at Extreme Rules? That'd be kind of crazy. But I think they'll probably end up doing it at Crown Jewel. But we'll see. I don't know. And you'd imagine Reigns wins, and then maybe The Rock comes out or something. I don't know. Would Rock make it to Saudi Arabia? Probably not. Then Rock comes out, and then they set their match for, I guess, WrestleMania, right? So, like, every time Reigns wins the match against somebody now, oh, there's gonna be another big challenger ahead of him. I guess we're at that point now. So, I don't know. Like, but then you would think he beats The Rock, right? So then who's gonna beat Reigns? That's gonna be the most interesting question. Like, who ends up finally defeating Roman Reigns? Because at this point, I think Reigns is definitely gonna walk into WrestleMania as champion. Beyond that, maybe, right? Like, does he hold the belt till next year's SummerSlam? Maybe he does. And maybe he's holding the belt going into Money in the Bank 2022, which is at Allegiant Stadium. It's gonna be in a stadium. Money in the Bank for the first time ever in a stadium. That's crazy. So I think you now gotta consider Money in the Bank up there as like one of the top like shows. It's now the top 5, up there with Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Rumble, Mania, So, but yeah, overall, you guys got any more comments or anything to like wrap it up? In general, SummerSlam, it had the highs, it had lows, it had some moments where you were like, and it had some moments where you were like really thrilled. But at the end of the day, I was left satisfied with SummerSlam. I thought it was a really good show. Was it as good as WrestleMania? I don't think so. I think WrestleMania overall had a more positive feeling, maybe. Yeah, I would say so. But SummerSlam, I still thought was a hell of a show. It's pretty close in my opinion. I really enjoyed SummerSlam. Yeah, definitely a really good show. It hit my expectations. Edge Rollins and Cena and Reigns, both great matches. The undercard had some matches that were, pretty good. The SmackDown Tag Titles match was good. The Raw Women's 3-Way was pretty good. Priest and Sheamus was pretty good for the most part. RK Bro, Styles, Omos was good. There were a couple matches that like whatever, but there's always gonna be matches like that on a show. But yeah, overall, SummerSlam, pretty damn good show in my opinion. If I'm rating it, I don't know, man, it's somewhat close to 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5 out of 10, somewhere in that range. I would say probably. It was a really good show. I enjoyed it. What'd you say here, Xander? Isn't Goldberg done or just joking here? But the only person that could beat him is vacant. Roman, yeah, right. Yeah, Reigns is gonna beat himself and have to vacate the belt. I don't know. But thoughts on the Punk promo? Okay, what I'll say about the Punk promo. I've said this to a lot of other people. To me, he came off quite bitter. I didn't like the comment that he made about how he left ROH and then didn't like wrestle for 10 years and then came to AEW or whatever. You know what I mean? That line, I understand that WWE didn't treat him the best at times. And, hey, it hurt his health. You know? I get that. But to still be super bitter, the company that gave him that platform to get him this popularity, to eventually lead him to coming back, getting this big ovation in AEW, like, I mean, I don't know. I just think he should be a little bit more grateful for what WWE gave him. Yeah, he had to work at times for it, but I don't know. I don't want to get too much of a tangent about Punk because, to be honest, I really wouldn't consider myself a fan of him anymore. Just, I don't know him personally or anything, but it's like, like Del Rio, you hear enough things about somebody and then it just makes you like, I don't know, maybe I just don't like that person's attitude or whatever from what I see. So like, I wouldn't say I like Del Rio anymore. I wouldn't necessarily say I like CM Punk. So I don't know if he over time proves that he's a changed person, maybe. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really a fan of the guy. The moment, you can't discredit the moment. Punk going to AEW, huge moment, absolutely a huge moment. It was big for pro wrestling. It's a game changer for AEW. Like, this is a real game changer for AEW for sure. A lot of people are making comments about like Punk being as over or more over than Cena or Rock ever was. Nah, he's not as over as Cena or The Rock, but he's definitely a guy who could change things, and he's definitely a guy who can create buzz without a doubt. Absolutely. You know, Despite me not liking Punk that much anymore, I'm not gonna discredit that. He's a huge name. Absolutely, he creates buzz. Absolutely. You know, I just don't really care for the guy that much. I tuned in to see the promo for Rampage, and then I tuned out. I didn't want to watch. I just wanted to see that. You know what I mean? So that was it. I do want to give AW another shot eventually down the road, but at that moment in time, that's all I wanted to see. So, and I don't know. I guess when Brian comes into AW, I'll see how that goes. But at some point, yeah, I definitely want to give AW another shot, see if I like it, because I hear good things. Just now going in all out, I don't think it's the best time to want to start watching, because like you got to go backtrack and see all the stories that you don't really understand. So yeah, you got to find a good point where they hit the reset button almost. That's when you should start watching, really. In my opinion, to like truly get the essence of what's going on in the company and be invested. You know what I mean? Because I'm not invested in anything they're doing right now. So if I'm gonna watch right now, I'm not gonna get the desired reaction that I should give them, right? So that's not fair, right? So that's why I'm not really watching right now. Last two questions. Thoughts on the release of Bray Wyatt? Obviously it sucks. I was very much into the Fiend character, but obviously didn't necessarily work out the way it could have. But I was very much into the Fiend character, big horror fan. So, to see him get released, definitely a shock. I wasn't expecting it. But it is what it is. We'll see where he goes from here. It sucks that he couldn't come back to WWE, but I don't know. I don't know why he got released. So hopefully one day we find out. You know what I mean? So, and I'm excited for the all new Law and Order shows for this fall. I'm gonna be honest. I need to catch up on Law and Order SVU. I need to catch up on a bunch of TV shows. Just because it's been hard. Like Big Brother, I try to catch up a little bit, but then I don't watch for a little bit, you know? So, like, I still have to catch up on Big Brother, you know, because I was still somewhat interested in watching Big Brother this season. Last year, I tuned out of Big Brother completely after, like, about a month or so. Um, but I do want to continue watching Big Brother, but just work schedule and everything, it's hard to keep catching up once I slip behind a lot, you know? In Law and Order SVU, I slip behind a lot, but the good thing is I can easily binge watch a few episodes or so and catch right up. So like I missed a bunch of Law and Order SVU episodes in the spring, but I can catch right back up, and you know, and we're there. So I do plan on catching up on SVU at some point soon. You know, maybe spend watch a couple episodes a day, kind of thing. But I do gotta catch up on Big Brother too. So, but yeah, any other comments or anything? It's almost 2:30. Don't want to be up super late. So if you have any other comments, I guess I'll answer it. But otherwise, yeah, I'm getting kind of tired now. But hang on, let me get some more water here. Let's see if there's any other last comments. But what a night! What a night for sure. Definitely has the wrestling world buzzing for sure. You know. Um, any other comments? It doesn't appear that way. So yeah, I'm gonna head off then. Thank you, Xander Pico. Probably not here anymore, but if you are, cool. Kyle, if you're still here somehow. Anybody else who might be lurking? Thanks for stopping by, hearing my thoughts on SummerSlam. When I'll be back up here, I don't know. Maybe sometime soon. But thing is, you know, I only hop on now when like I really want to talk about wrestling. When it's not good enough, I don't feel as desired to want to talk about pro wrestling. So, but you know, this is like what the second time I've come up on here in the last month or month and a half. So maybe it'll happen again in a month or two. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Leave your thoughts on SummerSlam if you're watching this later on in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. What a weekend to be a wrestling fan. Enjoy. Whoa, hang on. Yo, Little Fettuccine. Thoughts on... Whoa, you're just throwing all these thoughts at me. I'll answer your question and then I'll leave. AEW, I don't watch them. I don't hate AEW whatsoever. But I just don't watch them right now, so I don't really have any thoughts really on AEW. They're there. New Japan, I just don't really have the time to keep up with a lot of promotions, especially it's not that easy to watch New Japan. Especially since I don't really have a computer that with sound, so it'd be way easier for me to watch it on a computer. So I haven't really been watching New Japan lately. And to be honest, a lot of the guys that I used to love in New Japan aren't there anymore. So, I mean, Naito's there. I like Naito. But, you know, a lot of the guys that I liked in New Japan aren't there anymore. So, I'm not as desired to want to watch it. That's not saying it's bad, but I just don't. And it's harder for me to watch it, too. And Impact, I just don't watch it. Doesn't mean it's bad, just not for me. So, yeah. Hope that answered your question. So, I'm going to head out now. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.